poor old lonely woman named Emma started receiving deliveries every day from an unknown source. She and her late husband never had children together, so she could not tell where these deliveries came from. When Emma Richards' husband died 7 years ago, she was devastated. She now had to live out the rest of her life alone, taking care of herself as she had no one else to do it for her. She and her husband John didn't have any children that could look after her. Every time Emma was asked why, she always just shrugged and avoided answering. One day, while Emma was sitting in her bedroom watching TV, somebody rang the doorbell. She wasn't expecting any visitors, so she decided to go check who it was. As she opened the front door, a delivery man in his 40s stood there with several boxes. He was wearing a mask, so she could not see his face clearly. "I'm not expecting a package from anybody. May I know who this is from?" Emma asked him. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but these packages were sent anonymously," placing the boxes on Emma's table by the door. When the delivery man left, Emma opened the boxes quickly as she was curious about what was inside. In the first box, there were small household appliances like a new oven toaster, sandwich press, and coffee maker. She proceeded to open the second box, and there were beautiful clothes inside as well as groceries. Every day, Emma started to receive more packages. It'd always be the same delivery man handing them over, so she decided to get to know him. "What is your name, sweet boy?" "My name is Ted Harrison," the delivery man smiled. "Mrs. Richards, the sender requested for us to give you this," he added, handing her an envelope. Curious, Emma opened it and read it quickly. It said, "Mrs. Richards, please let me know what you need for yourself and I will grant them." "I'm sure the sender loves you very dearly even though you don't know who it is," the delivery man smiled. Emma obliged and wrote what she needed. She didn't want the person to spend a lot for her, so she only wrote down necessities. Since that short and sweet encounter, Emma began to prepare quick snacks for Ted, the delivery man. For an entire month, he went to her house handing her parcels that had clothes, food, books, and other novelty items. At one point, Emma started to get used to Ted's company. He would spend time with her by eating snacks together and volunteering to do some housework that she couldn't do herself. However, one day, Ted didn't come. Suddenly concerned, Emma decided to head over to the local post office to find him. "Hello, can you please page Ted Harrison?" she asked the young woman at the reception table. The young woman looked confused. "I'm sorry, ma'am, there's nobody named Ted Harrison who works here," she replied. "Oh, but he's been delivering my packages every day," Emma said, suddenly disappointed. She did not know where to find Ted, and it upset her. She walked back home with so many thoughts suddenly going through her head. As she got to her front porch, she was surprised to see a tiny box in front of the door. There, she saw a key and a note that read, "I learned the truth just a month ago when I decided to hire a private investigator to find out where I came from. I know you blame yourself and regret what you did. However, I want you to know that I don't blame you and that I know you only had my best interest at heart. You and your husband could not feed me, so you gave me up for adoption. I ended up in a wealthy family that treated me like their own, but something always felt lacking. I realized that was you, Mom. You're lacking in my life, and I would love to spend more time with you if you'd be willing. I recently bought a new house. I had a key duplicated for you in case you wanted to move in with me. Please allow me to take care of you. With love, your delivery man, Ted." Emma was shaking by the time she finished reading the message. She had always longed to see her son before she died, and she couldn't believe that it was him who found her. And that son turned out to be Ted. She couldn't help but cry, all the guilt from her past catching up with her once again. It was true what Ted found out about their past. Emma and John were on the verge of bankruptcy when they found out she was pregnant. They knew they wouldn't be able to raise Ted in a good environment, so they put him up for adoption. They left their son at an orphanage when he was only months old. With his belongings, Emma left a letter that explained why they could not raise him. The letter was anonymous, but after convincing the orphanage directors to disclose the contents of his adoption papers, Ted found Emma's name. Emma wanted to see Ted immediately. She prepared to leave her house to meet him, but someone knocked on the door. When she opened it, she saw Ted. "Hi, Mom," Ted said softly. Emma started to cry. "I can't believe it. My son." She started sobbing. She pulled him in for a hug and refused to let go. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I truly am. I wish you can forgive me." Emma continued to cry. "You don't need to apologize, Mom. I'm here because I want to spend more time with you. It's not too late to start over. We can still be a family," Ted said before breaking their long hug. That night, Ted and Emma spent time together by packing her belongings in boxes. A truck was waiting outside where they loaded her things so they could transfer them to Ted's house. There, Emma was surprised to see Ted's wife and children. They were just as excited as Ted to welcome her into their home, and since then, Emma never had to be alone again.